Jim Obergefell, thank you so much for this interview for Televisa and Foro TV. You're one of the most iconic faces of the LGBT movement in the United States, probably one of the most important people for advancing marriage equality. How do you see the Democratic Party today regarding this? Of course, President Obama supported marriage equality in 2013, and also Hillary Clinton. How do you see the Bernie Sanders supporters, the LGBT supporters, who are not willing to endorse her, even though she's already supporting LGBT rights and marriage equality?
It disappoints me. You know, I supported and appreciated, agreed with a lot of what Senator Sanders had to say and what he stands for. And for his supporters who believe in those similar things, those ideas, those ideals, to say they won't support Hillary Clinton doesn't make sense to me, because the difference between Sanders and Clinton is not very great. And if you care about those progressive ideals, Hillary Clinton is the only option in this election for someone who believes in those things. So it's disappointing that they seem to be stuck in this, well, my candidate didn't get the nomination, so I'm just not going to vote for the candidate who did. To me, that's fairly selfish and not in the best interest of our country.
And what do you make of the fact that she, during the 2000 race for the Senate, that she said with these words, "I believe that marriage is between man and a woman"? Does that make some of the Sanders LGBT supporters not willing to support her?
Well, I would simply say this: when any one of us comes out, what we hope for from our family, from our friends, from the people in our lives, is that they immediately say, well, Jim, you're still the same person. I love you. I support you. That's what we hope for. If we don't get that, what we hope for is over time those attitudes change. And we hope that in the future our family, our friends, our neighbors do realize that we are the same people and that we do deserve the same rights, the same benefits, the same protections. That's what we hope for. And to hold her stance back in 2000 against her, to me, isn't fair. We want people to change their minds. We want people to get to know us and to become our allies, to become our supporters. And that's what she's done. So to hold her stance from 16 years ago against us doesn't make sense to me, because she has come to our side, and that's what we want.
There are no real numbers that say if the LGBT movement or the marriage equality movement can actually bring people out to vote. During the 2004 election, George W. Bush tried to amend the Constitution to pass a constitutional ban on same-sex marriage. And many people said during those times that that was one of the reasons why he got re-elected. Do you think the marriage equality movement is going to be a key issue in the November election?
Well, it is an issue in this election, because we have the GOP candidate who says he will nominate justices to the Supreme Court who would be open to overturning Obergefell v. Hodges and taking away our right to marry. So it is definitely an issue. It's a concern. And everyone in the LGBTQ community, as well as our allies, we should all be concerned about that. I mean, the GOP platform is completely anti-LGBTQ in all ways. So this election is very much an LGBTQ election. It's vitally important to us, vitally important to us as Americans. Our rights are at stake.
What do you make of the log cabin Republicans?
I will be honest, I've never quite understood that, because for me, I can't understand supporting a party who has said over and over and over, as a person, who you are, being LGBT or Q, you don't matter. We will do everything we can to deny you rights, to take away your rights. So for me, it doesn't make sense. I could never see myself supporting an organization with those ideals and with those goals.
What's the next goal for the LGBT movement after this election? From the Stonewall revolution in the 60s to the Obergefell plaintiff in 2013, 14 was it?
Last year, 2015.
2015. What's next?
Well, I think the next big thing for our community is to fight for non-discrimination protections, whether that's the Employment Non-Discrimination Act, or that's the Equality Act, which would update the 1964 Civil Rights Act to include sexual orientation and gender identity, or local and state level protections. That is our next big focus area, I believe, to get those non-discrimination protections. Because right now, the fact of the matter is, in so many parts of the United States, a couple who exercises their constitutional right to marry, if they put up a photo at work, they can lose their job. They can be evicted from their apartment. So we don't enjoy those protections, which so many Americans mistakenly assume that we do. So we have a lot of education to do to make sure all Americans understand that we don't enjoy those protections, and then we need to fight and work towards making those protections into law.
In another first historic movement, the Democratic Party had its first trans person speaking at the convention this week. What do you make of that?
Well, I'm thrilled. I'm friends with Sarah. She is an incredible person, a wonderful advocate, and I'm thrilled for her that she has this honor to speak at the convention. So to me, that is just one more indication that the Democratic Party is the party of inclusion. The Democratic Party is the party that supports the LGBTQ community. And for her to be the first ever transgender person to address a convention is just an incredible opportunity, and also says a lot about who Sarah is as a person.
Just one last question. Thinking of November and the GOP refusal to advance LGBT rights, do you think that party is on the brink of maybe going into oblivion, seeing that the new generation of voters, millennials and etc., they mostly support LGBT rights now?
Well, what I can hope is that the part of the party that considers the LGBTQ community as less than human, as less than equal, as not the same as anyone else, I hope that part of the party goes into oblivion. Can I say that I want the entire party to go away? No, because I think our country needs multiple parties for good discussion, for just to keep things balanced. But my hope is that that part of the party that is just completely anti-equality does fade away into obscurity where they belong.
And one message for the LGBT activists in Mexico who are also pushing marriage equality?
Keep fighting hard. You know, I never expected to find myself in the middle of this world as someone who helped bring marriage equality to the entire United States. And I learned that one person, two people, a group of people can actually change things for the better for the entire country, for the world. So keep fighting. It's the right thing to do, and I wish you the best.
Thank you. Jim Obergefell, co-author of Love Wins and one of the most important LGBT activists in the 21st century in the U.S. Thank you so much for this minute for Noticieros Televisa and Foro TV.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.